Joining Australian Boxing Central today is none other than Glenn Rushton, trainer of former world champion Jeff Horn. Thanks for joining us in Bendigo, Glenn.
That's great to be here.
It's a massive day in Australian boxing. Obviously, the announcement of Jeff Horn versus Michael Zerafa here in Bendigo on August 31st. Tell us a bit about the opportunity at hand for Jeff and also his training camp to date. Have preparations began?
No, preparations, he's been in a maintenance mode, but he's had a couple of weeks off for the birth of his second child, so he comes back to the gym on Monday, and we start to step things up from there. So certainly we're looking forward to it. Jeff has to stay active. He's had half a round in the last year, that's all he's had. The fight with Mundine was 96 seconds, so we really need to get him back in the ring, get him active, and of course keep driving ourselves up those rankings. He's currently number 2 in the world, and we need to get him back into that mandatory position and hopefully a world title shot at the end of the year.
And with his preparation, we're just under 2 months out from fight night. What type of sort of sparring partners are you looking to get involved to, obviously prepare your best for Michael?
Well, I've got a whole lot of great sparring partners right at the gym. We've got obviously Dennis Hogan, we've got the likes of Joel Camilleri's come up and joined us now. We've got him up there. We've got Andrew Hunt, incredibly exciting young fighter. We've got like in Brisbane, there's Liam Parrow, who's not at our gym, but he's not far away. We've got, as I said, there's probably another Nathan Webber. We've got James McDonald. We've probably got 6 or 7 really good fighters in that lightweight to middleweight category.
Yeah,
real good boxers. Okay, so we've got plenty of talent. We won't have any shortage of sparring partners. One
guy in particular there that you mentioned, Joel Camilleri, being a former teammate of Michael Zerafa's not that long ago. Has he given any sort of insights as to possible things that Jeff could exploit in Michael's game? And is he someone that you're really going to lean on in preparation?
Not really. I do my own assessment of fighters. I prefer to do that, so I do my own homework, and we don't need any extra really advantages. We just do our thing every time, and basically I do the homework, I do the research on each particular opponent. I look at who we need for sparring partners. I look at everything they've got and work out how we're going to counter all of that. So I'll do my own homework on Michael Zerafa. And, as I said, we don't need any inside information to get the job done. We just need to do our work, prepare well, and if we do that, Jeff will come down here and he'll be victorious on the night.
And with the challenges that Michael will present, what do you think he can, what challenges can he pose to Jeff on fight night? We know Jeff's most likely going to come forward and show that sort of aggressive, relentless pressure style. I'd imagine Michael's probably going to sort of try and walk him into a few shots. Is that a concern on your end, sort of coming up to, the middleweight division? We know that Jeff fought Anthony Mundine most recently, but as Michael touched on in the press conference, he believes he'll be a much more difficult proposition.
Yeah, he believes so, but then again, Anthony Mundine, yes, he may have been over 40, but he's a 3 times world champion, and we saw what he did to Tommy Brown when Tommy got a little bit slack there, so he can certainly punch, and he's got good punching power. Michael hasn't yet got a world title, but yes, he is a good boxer, and he's very tough, so he's a come-forward boxer. He can box, he's got good boxing skills. He's had 26 wins from 29 fights. That's a great record. He's world ranked, and he's been in there with some really good boys, particularly Kel Brooks. So no, this is a great challenge. It's a terrific contest. 2 Australians at the top of their game. What I like about Michael, he's younger than Jeff. He's 27. He's taller. He's bigger. He's had more fights than Jeff. He's fighting in his home. Well, you might as well say his hometown. He's just up the road from home. So really, for a B-side fight, you might say he's got all the cards stacked in his favour, and that's good because no one's going to be able to say, oh, he was old, he was this, he was small, or he was whatever. He's got everything in his favour. So if Jeff comes down here and has a convincing victory, that's definitely got to be good for Jeff's profile.
Well, touching on Jeff being victorious, and obviously that's the plan, and you'd imagine he's going to be the favourite, having won world title previously and really shown his mettle at sort of world level. I guess moving forward, we've seen lately in the super welterweight division, middleweight division in Australia, it's red hot right now. We've got a fight about 2 weeks before Jeff and Michael
and Dwight Ritchie. Yeah,
exactly. That's a great fight. Is that something that if Jeff was victorious, he'd look at sort of cleaning out the rest of that sort of division and then sort of moving towards world level again? What's the sort of plan, providing everything goes well?
Not really. That's not really my plan. Before we fought overseas in the welterweight division, we cleaned out Australia. We fought Samuel Columban, who at the time was considered, one of the great boxers at that time. We offered him a rematch. We fought Riven Cesare twice. He then went on to become the benchmark in that division in Australia for the next 2 or 3 years. So we cleaned out the division. We don't have to keep coming back cleaning out Australia. But if there is a fight here that makes sense from both a career perspective and a commercial perspective, we'll look at it. Like people have mentioned Tim Tszyu. I don't see Tim Tszyu as being ready as yet. I think we all witnessed that when he fought Joel Camilleri. Whilst he won the fight, he showed that he's still got a fair bit to learn. So I don't see that fight as being ready at this point. But who knows? Tim may emerge over the next couple of years into a really serious world-class contender. And absolutely, 2 Australians is always going to be a great fight. It's always going to be a popular fight. So if there's a fighter that stamps himself and emerges here as being a world-class fighter, we'll always consider it.
Well, if it isn't to be an Australian fighter next up, I know you have to get past Michael first and foremost, and he will provide a challenge, no doubt. Is there anyone in particular on sort of a world level that Jeff has got his sights on? Anyone he said to you, Glenn, that's who I want?
Yeah, I mentioned when I was over in Los Angeles recently, I was talking with Eric Gomez from Golden Boy, and I said to him, we want to fight Canelo Alvarez. That's a great fight. That would be an incredible fight, and based on the styles of both Jeff and Canelo, awesome fight. And that's a fight I would dearly like. I'd like Triple G as well, but we will try to get a world title back after this fight. That's the plan. Get through this fight and then get a world title in the next fight in the middleweight division and prove ourselves worthy challengers to both Triple G and Canelo Alvarez. They're the fights I'd like at middleweight. And after that, then we'll look. We may go back down a division yet. And of course, we would take Manny Pacquiao in a rematch at any time. We've always said we would be happy to fight him in a rematch. It's Manny Pacquiao that's dodging Jeff, not the other way around.
Well, for now, it will be Michael Zerafa on August 31st. We'd love to see a massive international contest for Jeff, but as a touchdown, of course, have to get past Michael first, and what a big night it's going to be on August 31st here in Bendigo, Glenn. So we look forward to welcoming you guys back down here in a few weeks' time, and until then, mate, all the very best, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much. It's a pleasure, and we certainly look forward to a great fight here on August 31.
Thanks, Glenn.